majority party. It is a bill that a bill that proposes to repeal the Pyrethrum Act, Cap 340, because it is inconsistent with the provisions of the Crops Act, Cap 318, which provides for similar matters within the context of the harmonized regulation of scheduled crops under one legislative framework. The repeal of the Pyrethrum Act will therefore address the conflict between the Act and the provisions of the Crops Act. This is a bill that is coming up for first reading before it proceeds to the next stage of committee or public participation, and later come back to the House for second reading and debate. The other bill is the Virtual Asset Service Providers Bill, also originating from the National Assembly and also sponsored by the leader of the majority party. If you're just joining us, is that the House is about to commence its business. What we are seeing is that members have already made their way into the chambers. The time allocated for the sitting is 2:30, so we believe in a short while we shall be seeing the procession of the Speaker. And after the Speaker makes his way into the chamber, if the House will have quorated, then the business will commence. However, if the quorum will not have been raised by then the quorum bell, of course, will be on, at least to give an allowance for the members who may be within the precincts of Parliament, but yet to get to the chambers to do that. And as we wait for the Speaker to make his way into the chamber, we shall continue to take a look at the business lined up for consideration this afternoon. Pursuant to provisions of the House Standing Order 44, paragraph 2, part C, members have an opportunity to request for statements. And this afternoon, the Honorable Member for Kiminini, Honorable Kakai Bissau, will request for a statement from the Committee on Administration and Internal Security with regards to disappearance, subsequent death of Miss Lydia Tokeshi Bokhala. The Honorable Member for Funyula, Honorable Dr. Ujiambo Oundo, will also request for a statement from the Departmental Committee on Energy, and this is with regards to operations of Kudura Power East Africa in Western Kenya. The member for Kajiado East, pursuant to the provisions, Honorable Kakuta Maimai, will also request for a statement from the Committee on Lands. This is with regards to alleged fraudulent and irregular transfer of public land. However, as we can see, that is the Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Dr. Moses Wetangula, making his way into the chambers. He will be presiding over this afternoon's sitting. Allow me to hand you over to this live broadcast brought to you by PBU in partnership with KBC. Good afternoon.
Mheshimiwa, tuombe. Ewe Mwenyezi Mungu ambaye kwa hekima na
4. So that is what has necessitated the quorum bell that is currently underway, as directed by the Speaker. That is a bell that will be on for at least 10 minutes. Of course, this is to allow members to make their way into the chamber. Once that quorum is achieved, then the business of the day will commence. And until then, we shall be expecting, of course, the quorum has been achieved. Allow me to hand you over back to this business of the day. Good afternoon.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair. Order number 3, messages.
Members on their feet, take your seats. Honorable members, I have 2 messages. The first message is from His Excellency the President on nomination of persons for appointment to the board of the Central Bank of Kenya. Honorable members, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 42.1 relating to a message from the President, I wish to inform the House that I have received a message from His Excellency the President regarding the nomination of persons for appointment as members of the board of the Central Bank of Kenya. In the message, honorable members, His Excellency the President conveys that in exercise of the powers conferred by the provisions of Section 11.2 of the Central Bank of Kenya Act, Cap 491, he has nominated the following 4 persons for appointment as members of the board of the Central Bank of Kenya and seeks their approval by Parliament. FCPA Sophie Moturi, CPA Abdullahi Mohammed Abdi, Ms. Beatrice Kosgei, and Mr. David Simpson Osawa Owor. Honorable members, you may wish to note that the approval of the appointment of members of the Central Bank of Kenya Board is one of the exceptions where the law prescribes approval of nominees by Parliament. Specifically, Section 11.2 of the Central Bank of Kenya Act, Cap 491 states that, and I quote, the chairperson and directors shall be appointed by the President with the approval of Parliament. In this regard, the nomination for appointment is to be considered by the 2 houses of Parliament. The established practice in similar instances is that the relevant committees of the 2 houses undertake the approval hearings jointly and report back to the respective houses. Therefore, in keeping with this practice, I hereby refer the message from His Excellency the President, together with the CVs and other testimonials of the nominees, to the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning, and direct 1, that the vetting of the nominees for appointment as members of the board of the Central Bank of Kenya be conducted by the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning of the National Assembly, jointly sitting with the relevant committee of the Senate. 2, that the quorum of the joint sitting of the committees will be the respective quorums of each of the committees as stipulated in the standing orders of the respective houses. 3, that as contemplated under Rule 9(6) of the joint rules, unless a decision is reached by consensus, any vote to be taken in the joint sittings of the committees shall be by separate houses. This will ensure that the numerical differences of the individual members representing the houses in the joint sitting of the committee has no effect on the decision of the joint sittings. 4, that the joint committee shall, having conducted the vetting hearing, submit a joint report to the respective houses in the manner contemplated by paragraph 7 of Rule 9 of the joint rules. And 5, that the approval process should be conducted in accordance with the provisions of Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, Cap 7F, Honorable members, whereas the Central Bank of Kenya Act Cap 491 does not provide specific timelines within which the House is to consider the nominees, Section 8 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act Cap 7F requires the relevant House to undertake the exercise within 28 days. In this regard, the committees should immediately proceed to commence the approval process, notify the nominees and the general public of the time and place for holding the approval hearings, and thereafter, upon conclusion, table their joint report by Tuesday, 29th April 2025, to enable the Houses of Parliament to consider the matter within the statutory timelines. I thank you. Members at the bar, take the nearest seats. Take the nearest seats, Karemba. Sirma, what is your idea of the nearest seat? Yes. Honorable members, the second message is from the Senate on the passage of the County Government's Additional Allocations Bill, Senate Bill number 1 of 2025. Honorable members, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 41-4, I wish to report to the House that I have received a message from the Senate regarding the passage of the County Government's Additional Allocations Bill, Senate Bill number 1 of 2025. The message conveys that the Senate considered and passed the County Government's Additional Allocations Bill, Senate Bill number 1 of 2025 on 1st April 2025 with amendments. The bill, which is sponsored by the Senate Majority Leader, was published via Kenya Gazette Supplement number 6 of 6th February 2025. It seeks to provide for the additional allocations to county governments for the 2024-2025 financial year and the responsibilities of national government and county government pursuant to the said allocations. Having passed the bill, the Senate now seeks the concurrence of the National Assembly on the bill in accordance with the provisions of Article 110(4) of the Constitution. Honourable members, you will recall that prior to the receipt of the said Senate bill, this House passed the County Government's Additional Allocation Bill, National Assembly Bill number 2 of 2025, on 14th March 2025, following which I referred it to the Senate for consideration. Notably, the bill also seeks to provide for additional allocations to county governments for the 2024-25 financial year and the responsibilities of the national government and county governments. As such, honourable members, it is evident that both the National Assembly Bill and the Senate Bill seek to address the same subject matter. The House is now therefore confronted with the two versions of a bill with similar import. Honourable members, in the circumstances and so as to facilitate consideration of the Senate version of the bill, I have directed the clerk to schedule the bill for the first reading during the next sitting of the House. Thereafter, the bill will stand referred to the Budget and Appropriations Committee for consideration in terms of the provisions of Article 110 and 114 of the Constitution. The committee is required to prioritize consideration of the Senate bill and also confer the National Treasury on the contents of the bill vis-à-vis those of the bill that was originated and already passed by this House. Honourable members, thereafter, the committee is required to report to the House as soon as is practicable with the recommendations on the next appropriate steps to be taken on the Senate bill, noting that this House already passed a similar bill. The House is accordingly guided. I thank you. Honourable members, before the next order, in the public gallery we have St. Mary's Mixed Day Kiga Secondary School from Runyenjes, Embu, St. Mary's Mixed Junior and Primary School from Chepalungu, Bomet, and Aga Khan School, Kisumu, from Kisumu Central, Kisumu. I've been asked by the member for Kisumu Central to give him a an opportunity to welcome the students of Aga Khan School, Kisumu, and on our behalf to welcome the rest of the schools. But Honorable Mandazi has also asked me for an opportunity to welcome St. Mary's Mixed Junior and Primary School, Chepalungu. So, member for Kisumu, I give you 1 minute, and Mandazi 1 minute.
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to welcome one of my best performing schools, Aga Khan School. Aga Khan is one of the oldest schools in my constituency, and they are here on a study trip, and I welcome them, and I want to advise the students that this is the best place to learn some of the ways of making laws. Welcome to this house. Thank you.
Of Chepalungu.
Yeah, thank you so much, Honorable Speaker, for the recognition to welcome St. Mary's Junior and Primary School from Chepalungu constituency. And this is a school, Honorable Speaker, that is within my constituency. It is known for great performance. This is the school that my own children go to, and I want to recognize them as they come to Parliament to see what we do. I want to encourage them that they work hard, and in the future, they become better leaders. All the best to all the schools that have come to visit and to see what we do here in Parliament. Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker, and welcome St. Mary's and all other schools. Thank you.
Thank you. To complete the cycle, Karemba.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity, and I wish to welcome the students from St. Mary's Day Secondary School, Kega, from my constituency, alongside other students. This is a school that has enormous potential, and it is one of the best performing schools in my constituency. And I wish to wish them the very best as they pursue knowledge and as they seek to become greater people in this republic. I want to assure them that I'll continue supporting their education so that they can become better people in this country. And thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. On behalf of the Speaker and the House, we welcome all the schools, the students and their teachers to the House of Parliament. Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Yes, we have 2 petitions. The first one is by a member for Taveta, John Bwire. Is he in the house? John Bwire, petition deferred to Thursday. The next is Martin Owino, member for Ndiwa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is regarding the unfair labor practices by Sukari Industries in Homa Bay County. I, the undersigned, on behalf of the workers of Sukari Industry Limited in Homa Bay County, draw the attention of the House to the following. 1, that on 8th February 2024, workers of Sukari Industry Limited in their constituency staged a protest against discrimination, unfair labor practices, and unfavorable working conditions imposed by the employer, which violates Article 27 of the Constitution. 2, that while some of the workers are directly employed by the company, a majority of them are engaged through outsourced firms. This has resulted in significant disparities in employment terms, benefits, compensation, and other entitlements. 3, that there is alleged discrimination between foreign and local workers, including differences in pay for equal work, separate meetings for the different groups, unfair allocation of field and airtime allowances, and the withdrawal of salary advances, overtime, and lunch allowances. 4, that the workers employed through outsourcing firms are not provided with personal protective equipment, PPEs, and lack any policy for compensation in case of work-related injuries or fatalities. Additionally, ambulance services are not available and often unreliable during emergencies. Number 5, that a company's management is largely unapproachable, particularly to the local workers, and often terminates their employment arbitrarily without due process. Furthermore, workers are prohibited from joining or forming a labor unions. 6, that tractor drivers do not have formal contracts with the company, and their salaries and other payments are made through mobile money transfers instead of structured payroll system. Number 7, since October 23, contractual workers' contributions to the National Social Security Fund, NSSF, have been halted, and service gratuity is not provided. Number 8, that all efforts to address these concerns through dialogue and engagement have been unsuccessful. And lastly, Mr. Speaker, that the issues raised in this petition are not pending before any tribunal, court of law, or any constitutional or legal body. Therefore, your humble petitioners pray that the National Assembly, through the Public Petitions Committee, 1, inquires into the alleged discrimination, unfavorable working conditions, and unfair treatment of both outsourced and directly employed workers, whether local or foreign. 2, recommends that Sukari Industry Limited allow its workers, including those hired through outsourcing firms, to join or form labor unions to safeguard their rights, particularly their right for remuneration and reasonable working conditions, as guaranteed under Article 41 of the Constitution. 3, makes any other recommendation that it may deem appropriate to address the grievances of the petitioners. And your petitioners will ever pray, this presented by Honorable Martin Peters Owino, Member of Parliament from their constituency. Now, Mr. Speaker, if I just add one statement, I, as the area member of Parliament, have tried with top management to no solutions.
You
right?
should have included that in the petition.
Thank you. I hope the petition committee will take this very seriously.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Sunguli.
If I may joyride, Mr. Speaker, on this and ask the committee to really look into these Sukari industries. I know that those of us with industries or sugar in our constituencies would like to see this thing investigated generally for our industries. But Sukari is an industry that seems to be encroaching even onto our own sugar in Transmara. You know, the sugarcane industry also helps us to do the roads. But if our sugarcane is poached by another industry that does not help us, this is not very, very good. We want that in addition to the bad HR habits that Sukari industry has, that they should also be investigated in the manner that it does not poach sugarcane from our Transmara industries, because it's making our industry run out of cane.
Mama Zamzam, you want to joyride on this?
Mheshimiwa Spika, nikiweza kumuunga ndugu yangu Mheshimiwa Moses mkono, Mheshimiwa Martin, ningependa kusema hivi Mheshimiwa Spika. Vile wanavyofanya hawa wafanyikazi wa Sukari Industries, Mheshimiwa Spika, imekuwa ni dhahiri kuwa Wakenya wengi ambao wanafanya katika hizi industries wanadhalilishwa sana Mheshimiwa Spika. Ukiangalia hata kuingia katika union, na hata hii imefanyika hata Mombasa katika makampuni kule EPZ tulikuwa na hizi case Mheshimiwa Spika. Wafanyikazi wakitaka kuingia union wanakatazwa kwa sababu ile ndio sehemu peke yake ambayo wanaweza kutatuliwa matatizo yake. Mshahara uko duni kabisa, sio kulingana na sheria ya leba vile ilivyo Mheshimiwa Spika. Na pia hawapewi zile gears ama tasemaje, zile nguo za kuvaa za kuweza kuwalinda kutokana na hatari zilizoko kazini Mheshimiwa Spika. Wengine kama ulivyosikia pia wanalipwa na M-Pesa. Sasa mtu anajiuliza hatima yake iko wapi? Mtu akipata matatizo makubwa anashindwa anaweza kusaidika namna gani? Hana union. NSSF pia naona pia walitolewa, hawalipi ile ada ya NSSF. Kwa hiyo mimi naona hawa wafanyikazi hata kama walienda maandamano wamedhulumika sana, na wanastahili wapate haki katika bunge hili, na hasa kamiti ambayo inahusika na masala haya muangalie kwa kina, muhakikishe kuwa wafanyikazi wa Kenya wanaangaliwa vizuri, hasa wale ambao wanafanya kazi za mkono wananyanyasika sana. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika.
Thank you. The petition is committed to the Committee on Public Petitions. Report back within 60 days. Is the chairman here?
Yes, sir.
Kagezi,
yeah.
Report back in 60 days, within 60 days.
Well received, thanks.
Thank you. Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Majority Leader.
Speaker, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Tuesday, April 8th, 2025. A. Report on performance of the special groups, youth, women, and persons with disability from the Public Procurement Regulatory Authority. B. Report of the Auditor General on Forensic Audit on the Kenya Airports Authority and Adani Airport Holdings Limited, Jomo Kenyatta International Airport Leasing Plan. C. Reports of the Auditor General and financial statements for the year ended 30th June 2024 and certificates there in respect of 1. Affordable Housing Board, the 3 months period. 2. Agricultural Information Resource Center Revolving Fund. Athi Water Works Development Agency, Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority, Gatitu Tea Factory, Kenya Fisheries Services, Kenya Forest Services, Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, Kenya Institute of Mass Communication Car Loan and Mortgage Fund, Kenya Maritime Authority Staff Mortgage and Car Loan Scheme, Kenya National Public Health Institute, Kenya National Trading Corporation, Lapset Corridor Development Authority, Micro and Small Enterprises Authority, Miwani Sugar Company Limited, 1989 in receivership, Mount Elgon Lodge Limited, National Assistance Trust Fund for Victims of Trafficking in Persons, National Police Service Commission Staff Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme Fund, National Police Service, National Syndemic Disease Control Council, Zoya Sugar Company, Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, President's Award Kenya, Public Trustees of Kenya, Receiver of Revenue Statement, the Judiciary, School Equipment Production Unit, Scrap Metal Council, State Department for Livestock Development, State Department for Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, MSMED Development, Sunset Hotel Limited, the Horn of Africa Groundwater for Resilience Project, IDA credit number 70820 KE grant number P 174867 Water Resources Authority, the Senate Unclaimed Financial Assets Authority Staff House and Car Loan Scheme, and lastly, Honorable Speaker, Waterhouse Receipts System Council. I thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I beg to lay.
Thank you. Chairperson, Committee on National Government Constituencies Development Fund, Sirma.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Tuesday, 8th of April 2025. The report of the Committee on National Government Constituency Development Fund on nominees to the National Government Constituencies Development Fund Committee for 37 constituencies. I beg to lay.
Thank you. Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning, Kimani.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Tuesday, the 8th of April of 2025. Report on the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning on its consideration of the Excess Duty Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 7 of 2025. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chairperson Jailak.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Tuesday, 18th April 2025. Reports of the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs on its consideration of, number 1, the Anti-Money Laundering and Combating of Terrorism Financing Laws Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 5 of 2025, and 2, the approval hearing of Honorable Judith Nayai Ramaita Pareno for appointment as Principal Secretary, State Department for Justice, Human Rights and Constitutional Affairs. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I beg to lay.
Thank you. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Chairperson, Public Petitions Committee.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motions. Number 1, that this House adopts the report of the Public Petitions Committee on its consideration of a public petition number 41 of 2023 regarding banning of TikTok in Kenya, laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, 25th September 2024. Number 2, that this House adopts the report of the Public Petitions Committee on its consideration of a public petition number 01 of 2023 regarding poor implementation of the Edu Afya medical scheme in public schools, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 7th December 2023. Number 3, that this House adopts the report of the Public Petitions Committee on its consideration of public petition number 11 of 2022 regarding pollution of River Athi, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 11th April 2024. And lastly, number 4, that this House adopts the reports of the Public Petitions Committee on its consideration of the public petition number 7, 57, 70, 71 of 2023 regarding gazettement of Rachuonyo North, Nyatike West, Nyatike North, and Nyatike South, Chonyi, and Chepalungu, sub-counties or hardship areas, respectively, laid on the table of this House on Tuesday, 11th June, 2024. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move. Thank you.
What are you moving, Kagezi? I thought you were giving notice of motion.
Sorry, Speaker, sir. It's a notice.
Okay. Chairperson Jailak.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion. That taking into consideration the findings of the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs in its report on the vetting of a nominee for appointment as Principal Secretary, laid on the table of the House today, Tuesday, 8th April 2025, and pursuant to the provisions of Article 155(3)(b) of the Constitution, approves the appointment of Honorable Judith Nayai Ramaita Pareno as the Principal Secretary, State Department for Justice, Human Rights and Constitutional Affairs. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Morugara. Chairperson, Public Investments Committee on Social Services, Administration and Agriculture.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that this House adopts the fourth report of the Public Investments Committee on Social Services, Administration and Agriculture on its consideration of the report of the Auditor General on the financial statement of the following state corporations, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 17th October 2024. 1. The National Social Security Fund, the year 2019-20. 2. Communication Authority, financial years 17-18 and 18-19. 3. Child Welfare Society of Kenya, financial years 2014-15. 4. Sacco Society Regulatory Authority, financial years 17-18, 18-19, and 19-20. And lastly, Kenya Institute of Public Policy Research and Analysis, financial years 2014-15, 15-16, 16-17, and 17-18. The second motion, Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that this House adopts the report of the Public Investments Committee on Social Services, Administration and Agriculture on its consideration of the performance audit report for the provision of services to persons with disabilities by the National Council for Persons with Disabilities, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 30th July 2024. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And the last motion, Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that this House adopts the third report of the Public Investments Committee on Social Services, Administration and Agriculture on the consideration of the report of the Auditor General on the financial statements of the following state corporations, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 30th July 2024. 1. Kenyatta National Hospital, the year 2018-19 and 19-20. Kenya Medical Supplies Authority, the years 2017-18 and 18-19. Kenya Veterinary Board, financial years 2018-19, 19-20 and 2020-21. National Authority for Campaigns Against Alcohol and Drug Abuse, financial years 17-18, 18-19, 19-20 and 2020-21. And lastly, Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, financial years 2001, 2001, 0102, 0304, 0305, 0304, 0405, 0506, 0607, 0708, 0809, 0910, 2010-11, 011, 2012, and lastly, Honorable Speaker, 2012-2013. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, before we go to statements, I'll direct the reorganization of the order paper so that we go to order number 8. We put the question at order number 8. I will allow the county member for Kajiado to make a statement about a departed colleague. Then we go back to statement. So, Clerk.
Order number 8, motion, ratification of the agreement for the establishment of the Africa Finance Corporation. Question to be put.
Members on their feet, take your seats. Member for Garissa, take your seat. Honorable members, I'll put the question at order number 8, which is that this House adopts the report of the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning on its consideration of the agreement for the establishment of the Africa Finance Corporation, laid on the table of the House on Friday, 14th March 2025, and pursuant to the provisions of Section 8(4) of the Treaty Making and Ratification Act, Cap 4D, approves the ratification of the establishment of the Africa Finance Corporation. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
We'll start with Sangaire.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have a statement on the passing on of Honorable Janet Maranya Teya. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 259D-2, I rise to pay tribute to the former Kajiado County Women Representative, the late Honorable Janet Maranya Teya. Honorable Speaker, the late Honorable Janet Teya passed on Monday, 7th April 2025. The late Teya was born on 28th September 1980 in Ilkilorit in Kajiado County. She began her education in Africa Inland Church Kajiado School in 1987 and sat for her Kenya Certificate of Primary Education in 1995. She later joined the Nomatasiani Secondary School and completed her Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education in 1999. She proceeded to pursue a certificate in accountancy technician in 2022 at the Masai Technical Training Institute. Noting that she lost her ability to walk at the age of 5, she bravely surmounted the obstacles that hinder persons living with disabilities, becoming a role model to many in her community. The late Honorable Teya built on her success by working up on uplifting the status of women and people with disabilities upon graduation. Honorable Speaker, the late Honorable Janet Teya joined politics upon nomination by the National Alliance Party, TNA, to represent the interest of those with disabilities in the House during the 11th Parliament. She bet all odds and she was elected as the women representative for Kajiado County in 2017. During her tenure in the 12th Parliament, she dedicatedly served in the Departmental Committee on Labor and the Committee on Regional Integration. The late Honorable Teya brimmed the epitome of resilience and advocated for persons with disabilities in the county and specifically in Kajiado County. After exiting politics, the late Honorable Teya joined the National Government Constituency Development Fund as a board manager, where she served until her untimely death. Honorable Speaker, on behalf of Kajiado County and the women leadership of this House, I extend our deepest condolences to the family of the late Honorable Janet Teya, the people of Kajiado County, and the nation at large. I pray that the soul of our departed colleague rests in eternal peace. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Sangaire. Musa Sirma. Give Musa Sirma the mic.
Mr. Speaker, I join the Honorable Member for Kajiado in condoling of the passing of Janet Teya, who was a member of the National Constituency Development Fund Board. Mr. Speaker, Janet Teya appeared before our committee to vet her during her appointment by the Minister of Finance. Mr. Speaker, Teya was a very hardworking lady who did all what she could do to make sure that she attended all meetings and functions of the National Government Constituency Development Fund Board. We've met in several meetings, and she has been she had a lot of passion in serving that committee, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, on behalf of my committee, I wish to pass our sincere condolence to the family of Janet Teya. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Dorothy.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I too would wish to join my chair, Honorable Lea, and the entire county of Kajiado for the loss of this great lady. Mr. Speaker, it is important to note that this is a lady who defied all odds to do what she could do despite the condition that she lived with. This is a great encouragement to show that disability is not inability, Honorable Speaker. And I want to say, Pole sana to the family, and may God give them solace during this very difficult time as they mourn their loved ones. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Bokose.
Honorable Speaker.
A minute each, because I can say a few.
Honorable Speaker, I want to join my colleagues in mourning the passing away of Honorable Teya. Teya was nominated as a member of parliament in the 11th parliament, and in the 12th parliament she was elected as the women member of parliament for Kajiado. Very hardworking, humble lady. She used to sit at the back there. And Honorable Speaker, may her soul rest in eternal peace.
Donya.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. From Kisii County, I also rise to send my message of condolence to Kajiado County. In most cases, Mr. Speaker, when people do the introductions and one says, this is my third term as nominated, it doesn't sync well with our ears. Because if you go through the history of Honorable Janet, she was only nominated once, and then the second time, she decided to fight for an elective seat. That's good news from what we are reading, and we tell the entire Kajiado County through a representation of Honorable Lea that may God be with the family and the entire county of Kajiado. Thank you.
Milemba.
Well, thank you, Honorable Speaker. On behalf of myself and the people of Emuhaya and the Labour Committee of the 12th Parliament, I want to actually convey my condolences to the family of the Honorable Teya. Teya and I and others, Koyo there, worked in the Labour Committee for 5 years during the 12th Parliament. And she was so determined, she attended all meetings. Despite the challenges she had as a person living with disability, she still attended all the meetings, whether it was in Mombasa or all over the country. I want to pray that God gives the family strength to go through this business as we send her off. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Naomi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for allowing me to also contribute to this as I send my condolences to the entire Kajiado County, the leadership and the family, on my own behalf and on behalf of Marsabit County and my family. Honorable Speaker, I interacted with the late Janet Marania in the 12th Parliament. She was so passionate, and especially on matters to do with the people living with disability and the minority. And it is my prayer that the family will be comforted and that her soul rest in peace. Thank you.
Correre.
Thank you, Speaker. I also take this opportunity to condole with the people of Kajiado. Indeed, Teya was a true description of the strength of a woman. Despite her being able differently, Speaker, we were nominated the same time in 2013, and we served for 5 years. And in 2017, she ran in Kajiado and was elected. And Teya had strength. She had the passion to serve the people of Kajiado, and she was just what you could describe as a true powerhouse. May her soul rest in peace, and may perpetual light shine upon her.
Ferdinand.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the chance to say pole
to the Kajiado people because Janet, we were together with her on 12th and the 13th and 14th and the 12th Parliament, and she was a very active member of this House. I just take this opportunity on my own behalf on the people of Kwanza and Trans Nzoia County to say, pole to the family and may her soul rest in peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Janet was a very strong, resilient, and pragmatic leader. Mr. Speaker, Janet was born to a pastoralist family. Mr. Speaker, you understand with the challenges that she faced, going to school at that particular time, and later on, clearly providing leadership. It's a clear demonstration that disability is not inability. I want to join our family and say Pole, and I hope many ladies from the pastoralist community, led by the chair of the parliamentary women caucus, will clearly emulate what Janet has done and ensure that many of our girls go to school and demonstrate this hidden leadership, God-given leadership. May her soul rest in peace.
Member for Embu County. Daboen. I have one, actually. Yes. Give Daboen.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want also to take this opportunity to mourn with the people of Kajiado County for the loss of their loved one. And on behalf of the Embu County community, I want to send my sincere condolences to the family and the entire county of Kajiado. And above all, as we recognize this great lady who against all odds was able to make good leadership in terms of what she actually did in the parliament. We are praying as parliament that indeed we may be able to emulate what she used to do and what she was able to achieve. And again, above all, I want to say that disability is not inability. She was able to do great things, and we are able to recognize today. So on my own behalf and on behalf of Embu County, my sincere condolences to the entire Kajiado community. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Women Rep Trans Nzoia.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for also giving me this chance to eulogize with my colleagues and the family of Honorable Teya. And I must say that I didn't know her in person, but from what my colleagues have said, I must say that I'm proud of her, because being nominated the first time and you think of going for an elective seat after that, that is an encouragement, and that is what we are looking into any other member of parliament who is nominated to make an effort to vie for those seats, so that we encourage others also to continue competing in these elective seats. With that, Mr. Speaker, I say may her soul rest in peace. Thank you.
Weda.
Asante Bwana Spika. Kwa niaba yangu, familia yangu na watu wangu ninaowakilisha Lamu Mashariki, natoa rambirambi zangu kwa familia ya Mheshimiwa Teya. Mheshimiwa tulikuwa naye bunge la 12 na tulikuwa kwa kamati moja. Alikuwa mtu mzuri. Natoa pole kwa familia na Mungu aiwezeshe kujaza ile pengo ameacha. Asante Bwana Spika.
Makali Mulu.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, on my own behalf, on behalf of the good people of Kitui Central, I also want to join my colleagues in sending my sincere condolences to the family of Mheshimiwa and the people of Kajiado County. Honorable Speaker, I served with the Mheshimiwa in the 11th Parliament and the 12th Parliament. In the 11th Parliament as a nominated member of Parliament, and the 2nd Parliament as an elected member of Parliament. And Honorable Speaker, just as colleagues are saying, the commitment which was demonstrated by Mheshimiwa when she was a member here, Honorable Speaker, is not expected of somebody living with disability. But she went out of her way really to show that commitment and serve faithfully the people of Kajiado County. So, Honorable Speaker, I want to encourage those people who are living with disability, Honorable Speaker, to learn that disability is not inability, and they can actually do much more for this country. With those remarks, Honorable Speaker, may our soul rest in eternal peace. Amen.
Thank you, honorable members. We'll end there. Honorable Teia, those who knew her like I did, was the true embodiment of the spirit of the strength of a woman. We campaigned with her, and even with her physical challenge, she was in every single political spot in Kajiado, campaigning with everybody else. Shall we be upstanding to give a minute's silence? May her soul rest in eternal peace. Amen. Before the next, allow me to acknowledge in the public gallery Little Lambs School from Ainabkoi Uasin Gishu. On your behalf and on my own behalf, we welcome the Little Lambs to the House of Parliament. We go on with the statements. Honorable Kakai Bissau.
Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 44.2c, I rise to seek for a statement from the Chairperson of Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security regarding the disappearance and subsequent death of Ms. Lydia Tokeshi Buhala. Honorable Speaker, on January 7, 2025, Mrs. Lydia Tokeshi Buhala of ID number 3461-3679 was reported missing in Nairobi, only for her body to be found dumped in Gataga Forest in Rongai. On 9 January 2025, a vehicle was discovered abandoned in Ruto'S with visible bloodstain and vomit inside, raising concerns on the circumstance of her disappearance and subsequent death. This necessitated a forensic analysis of the evidence found in the vehicle in relation to her disappearance and subsequent death. The matter was recorded at Ruto'S Police Station under OB number 34/07/1/2025. And an initial response made by officers from Kilimani and Kabete police stations. Honorable Speaker, Mrs. Buhala's family is concerned on the timelines and effectiveness of police actions in addressing this distressing case. Additionally, they are concerned by the reports from authorities that Mr. Joseph Philip Orwa, who was identified as a person of interest in connection with the disappearance and tragic death of their kin, has been missing from his Nairobi residence. This has raised questions on his whereabouts and whether law enforcement agencies have taken sufficient action to locate and arrest him to assist with the investigations. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I seek a statement from the Chairperson of Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security on the following. 1. The steps taken by the security agencies on the matter of the disappearance of Ms. Lydia Tokeshi Buhala on 7 January 2025, including actions taken by Kilimani and Kabete police stations to investigate the case. Second, the progress of investigation into the circumstances surrounding Mrs. Buhala's disappearance and abandonment of her vehicle in Ruto'S with blood stains and vomit inside, and whether forensic analysis was conducted on the scenes. Thirdly, a report on the whereabouts of Mr. Joseph Philip Orua, a person of interest identified by the family of Mrs. Bukhala as a key suspect in the matter, and findings of the police on his connection with the disappearance and subsequent death of Mrs. Bukhala. And lastly, Mr. Speaker, measures in place to support families of missing persons during investigations, including coordination between different police stations and the role of forensic technology in identifying and tracking movements of potential suspects. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chair, Administration and Internal Security. Kangara, you are holding brief for your chairman?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Bring a response in 2 weeks.
2 weeks' time, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Member for Funyula, Ojambo Oundo, Doctor.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 44.2c, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Energy regarding the operations of Kudura Power East Africa in Western Kenya. Honorable Speaker, Kudura Power East Africa Limited is a Kenyan enterprise specializing in the development and operation of renewable energy mini-grids in Western Kenya. Its primary focus is providing reliable and affordable electricity and clean water to rural communities. However, despite such a commendable initiative, the residents of Sidonge A, Diraho, Rukada, Mahurisi, Mudoriko, Wiri A and B, Namagumba, Mugonga, and Muhondo and Funyula constituency have raised concerns on the contributions of the project to enhancing growth of the local communities. It's observed that the power supplied by Kudura is unreliable during the rain seasons and sufficient for heavy-duty appliances. In addition, a tariff of Kenya shillings 83 and 33 cents charged per unit is significantly high compared to the rate of 25 per unit charged by Kenya Power. Sadly, Kudura has bad residents connect supply from subscribing to alternative power providers to meet the electricity needs. Honorable Speaker, it's against this background I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Energy on the following. One, a report on the regulatory framework under which Kudura Power East Africa Limited is operating, generating and supplying power in Western Kenya. Two, the agreement on leases granted to Kudura Power to impose tariffs on power supplied and steps being taken to regulate such charges. Three, timelines within which Kudura will upgrade the infrastructure and ensure continuous and uninterrupted supply of power to homesteads. And finally, Honorable Speaker, a report on the terms of agreement between Kudura Power East Africa Limited and the government, including whether the terms are subject to review to allow alternative service provider to supply power alongside Kudura. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chair Energy. Where is Gikaria? Member of committee? Majority Leader? Majority Leader, direct the Chair Energy to bring this response in 2 weeks.
Most obliged.
Yes, Donya, what is it?
I don't think if we can give the answer in 2 weeks.
Why?
I made a statement before we went for recess. He said he was going to give in 2 weeks. It was ending today. He's not even in the House, Mr. Speaker. So I doubt if they will give that feedback in 2 weeks. Thank you.
We will direct him to do so in 2 weeks. Is the Vice Chair of Energy here, I'm told?
Yes.
Aramat.
Yes, yes.
You can hear those aspersions against your committee?
Yes, I will.
Of your inability to bring a statement in accordance with your promise to the House.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, we will...
Bring a response to Honorable Donya's request on Thursday, and this one in 2 weeks.
No problem, Mr. Speaker.
Next, Kakuta Maimai, member Kajiado East.
Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 44-2C, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Lands regarding the alleged fraudulent and irregular transfer of public land number 67, Isinya MRTC Demonstration Farm. Honorable Speaker, members of the Mboloi Group Ranch community have raised concerns over the illegal and fraudulent alienation of this public land, parcel number 67, within Isinya town. It is alleged that this public asset has been unlawfully transferred to a Mr. Sironga Olelemitei of ID number 0790473. Official records indicates that Mr. Lemitei listed as member number 197 in the Mboloi Group Ranch register was allocated land during the official subdivision of the 60,000 acre range, where he was issued parcel number KAJ/Captain North/712, measuring 158 acres. It is reported that he later willingly sold the land to multiple individuals. Honorable Speaker, during a meeting convened by the Isinya Sub-County Security Committee, they said Mr. Lemitei confirmed that the land in question had changed ownership with the knowledge and assistance of key public officials, including the former Kajiado County Council and the Kajiado County Executive Committee member for lands. This raises serious concerns about potential abuse of office and collusion in the illegal misappropriation of community land, calling for justice and protection of the ancestral land for members of the Mboloi Group Ranch. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Lands on the following. 1, a report on the steps that the Ministry of Lands is taking to investigate the fraudulent transfer of parcel number 67 in Kajiado County, Isinya MRTC Demonstration Farm. 2, measures being put in place by the Ministry of Lands to reverse the illegal transaction and restore the land to its rightful public status. And 3, actions being taken to bring to account public officers involved in facilitating illegal transfer of public land to prevent similar cases. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Chair Lands. Lands Nyamoko. Any member of that committee? Lands Majority Leader. Inform them to bring a response in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks?
Yes.
It is hard if this land in Isinya can be transferred fraudulently, Honorable Speaker. I'll ask the chair or the vice chair to bring it in exactly 2 weeks.
Thank you. Response to a statement requested by Joseph Munyoro, MP Kigumo. Kahangara, you said you are holding brief for your chairman.
Yes,
so
Mr.
go
Speaker.
ahead and respond.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wish to respond to a statement regarding the disappearance of persons. The Honourable Member of Parliament for Kigumo constituency, Honourable Joseph Munyoro, requested a statement on the disappearance of persons, and the Honourable Member particularly sought to be informed of 1, the whereabouts of Mr. David Gitau Maina, Mr. David Jehia Macharia, Mr. James Mboro Karaoke, and Mr. Patrick Karanja Gitau, and the status of investigations by police on their disappearances as reported at the OMB numbers 10-01-01-2025, 10-29/12-2024, 29/8/1-2025, and 14/01/225 respectively. Also, number 2 is actions being taken by the Ministry of Interior and National Administration to ensure that the said persons are expeditiously traced and reunited with their families, and perpetrators of the disappearances are brought to book. Measures put in place by the Ministry of Interior and National Administration to ensure the safety of residents of Mareira sublocation in Kegumo constituency. And number 4, plans put in place by the ministry to provide more vehicles to Kegumo police station to facilitate security. And I wish to state as follows. 1, disappearance of David Gitau Maina. Honorable Chair, Speaker, on 1st January 2025, Stephen Maina Gitau reported the disappearance of his father, David Gitau Maina, at Kegumo police station under OB number 10/01/01225. The report was officially circulated via Signal, Stapo, Kegumo reference KPS, KGM, KGMS, S and C3/81, dated 2nd of January 2025. The following day, he reported the matter to the DCI office in Kangari, seeking assistance in tracing his father. Efforts to contact Mr. David Gitau through his mobile numbers were unsuccessful, as all had been switched off since the day he disappeared. The numbers were forwarded to Safaricom and Airtel service providers for tracking, where the county CRIB, that's Security Investigation Bureau office in Muranga, on January 2025. While Airtel's report yielded minimal leads, Safaricom's report indicated that Gitau's phone for that matter had been inactive since the 29th of December 2024. DCI officers from Kangare, alongside the complainant, visited Mareira Shopping Center, where Gitau resided. His house was found locked from the outside. Inquiries with residents, including business owners at Mareira and Gakira shopping centers, confirmed that he was last seen on 27 December 2024. On the 18th of February 2025, officers from DCI Kegumo, led by IP Inspector Kadurima, arrested one Brian Mwangi in Kirinyaga County after forensic analysis linked his Safaricom line 0705-331-598 to David Gitau's phone through IMI 3535-41094-001100. He was arraigned in court on 20th February 25 as a prime suspect in the missing of David Gitau and remains in custody. Notably, Gitau's motorcycle was not circulated in police records as the family failed to provide its registration number. Additionally, an inquiry file number 2 of 2025 has been opened, and family members continue to receive updates on the progress of the investigations. The case is pending is before court. Number 2, on the disappearance of Daniel Njehia Masharia. Honorable Speaker, on the 29th of December 2024, Jane Nyambura, accompanied by a relative, Julius Njogona, reported the disappearance of her husband, Daniel Njehia Masharia, at Kegumo Police Station through OB number 10/29/12/224. They stated that he had left home for work on the 27th of December 2024 and had not returned. The report was circulated via Stapo Kegumo, reference number KPS KGM KGMS S85C/3/80, dated that 1st December 2024, and later lodged with DCI Kangare. Investigations revealed that his mobile numbers had been switched off. Requests for M-Pesa and Airtel money statements were submitted through Kegumo Law Court Miscellaneous Application number A001/225. Safaricom's report showed his last M-Pesa transaction was on 25th December 2024, while no transaction had been reported on his Airtel line. DCI officers visited Greenview Bar in Ikombe, where Masharia was last seen. Statement from bar attendant confirmed his presence on 27th of December 2024, consistent with the family's report on when he went missing. Statements from family members have been recorded, and an inquiry file number 003/225 has been opened, with updates provided to relatives accordingly. The case is pending under investigation. On the disappearance of James Mboro Karaoke, Honorable Speaker, on the 8th of January 2025, Ditex Ngure and John Kihara, residents of Irima Village, reported the disappearance of their brother James Mboro Karaoke at Kangari Police Station through OB number 29/8/01/2025. He was last seen at home on the evening of 1st January 2025. The case was circulated via Stapo Kangari reference KPS/KGM KGR S&C 7/2225, dated 11th January 2025, and escalated to DCI Kangari. His mobile numbers had been switched off, prompting an official tracking request through Safaricom service provider. The report indicated that his primary line was switched off on the 26th of January 2025, while the second was deactivated on 1st February 2025. A search mission in Kamukabi area, led by Murang'a County CRIB officers, yielded no conclusive findings. Statements from family members have been recorded. Inquiry file number 4225 has been opened as investigations continue. The case is pending under investigation. On the disappearance of Patrick Karanja Getao, Honorable Speaker, on the 14th of January 2025, Grace Kwamboka Karanja reported the disappearance of her husband, Patrick Karanja Getao, at Kakira Police Post at Daombi number 04/14/01225. She stated that her husband, a retired army officer, had left home on 7th of January 2025 and never returned. This case was formally circulated via Stapo Kegumo, reference KPS/KGMs/KGMS/S85C/3/80, dated 15 January 2025, and was later reported to DCI Kangari. His 3 mobile numbers were all switched off. Forensic tracking requests were submitted to Safaricom and Airtel, with reports confirming that 2 of his numbers were last active on the 6th of January 2025. On the 29th of January 2025, DCI officers led by Kangari Sub-County Criminal Investigation Officer visited Patrick's home and conducted a thorough search, but no significant findings emerged. Statements from family members have been recorded, and an inquiry file number 5 of 2025 opened. The case is still pending under investigation. On actions being taken by the Minister of Interior and National Administration to ensure that the said persons are expeditiously traced and united with their families, and perpetrators of their disappearances are brought to book. Honorable Speaker, investigations into all 4 missing person cases are ongoing, with efforts focused on forensic analysis, witness statements, and other leads. Arrests have already been made in the connection with David Gitao minor's disappearance, while the other cases remain under active inquiry. The police remain committed to resolving these matters and providing regular updates to the concerned families. On measures put in place by the Ministry of Interior and National Administration to ensure the safety of residents of Mareira sublocation in Kegumo constituency, Honorable Speaker, the government has employed the following measures to enhance security across the country. One is increased police patrol and presence, strengthening both foot and mobile patrols to prevent crime, or enforcing police visibility in key areas such as residential neighborhoods, marketplaces, and transport hubs. Number 2, establishment of anti-abduction squad. A dedicated response team has been formed which will be domiciled at DCI headquarters to swiftly handle reported abduction cases. On expedited investigation, the police will swiftly handle all reported cases, ensuring prompt arraignment in court of law of those found culpable to deter future criminal activities. On enhanced crime reporting channels, the public is encouraged to anonymously share crucial intelligence through the Fichua Kwa DCI toll-free hotline 0800-722-203, ensuring confidentiality in reporting of crimes and the safety of whistleblowers. On revitalizing community policing initiatives, reactivating inactive community policing committees to improve collaboration between police and the community, fostering information sharing and early identification of security threats. Plans put in place by the Ministry to provide more vehicles to Kegumo Police Station to facilitate security. Honorable Speaker, the government is procuring more vehicles to ensure or to enhance operational efficiency, effectiveness, and mobility within Kegumo Sub-County. And the planned allocations are as follows. I hope the member is listening. Sub-County headquarters will be allocated 1 motor vehicle, Kegumo Police Station 1 motor vehicle, Kangari Police Station 1 motor vehicle, Ngonda Police Station 1 motor vehicle, and Githembe Police Station 1 motor vehicle. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Member for Kegumo is in the house. Yes, Munyoro.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I thank you for the response. But I think one of the strangest things about these cases is that they've happened, all of them in one sublocation. And if you look at the answers given by the committee, they are only talking about pending investigations. In the case of David Gitau, he said that they've arrested someone who had his phone through a copy of the IME number. And I think it would have helped us to know what he's been charged with, whether he's confessed to either being part of the people that has caused the disappearance of Gitau, and whether he has any connection with the other disappearances. Honorable Speaker, they've talked about increased patrols in the region, and I would have liked to hear about the frequency, whether they've increased the number of police officers. We are told about forensics. It's unfortunate that in the case of James Buru Kariuki, his disappearance was reported on the 8th of January, and the report from Safaricom says that his phones were switched off on the 26th of January, which means it's 18 days later. So there is a lot of information that is not there, and I would like to get some clarity from the committee. Lastly, on the motor vehicles, I think we've gotten promises many times. I would like to know timelines, because buying motor vehicles is about budgeting and making sure that this is done. So kindly, could the committee tell us when we'll be able to get our motor vehicles? And I'm happy that they've said they'll give us 5 vehicles for patrols. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Do you have any response to those clarifications? Sir?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. As the member has said that all these incidences happen to come from one sublocation, I think the answers given on issues of disappearance, it's always advisable to give police time, because when somebody disappears, sometime you don't even know if they disappear, of course, willingly, or anything could have happened to them. But Mr. Speaker, I believe we give police more time to do the investigations, and as we have seen on the case of David Gitau, the arrest that has already been made, the issue of how the police were able to arrest the suspect is through the IMI number, and I think that indicates that indeed the police are working, and they have indicated that they will continue looking for the other persons through forensic ways. The issue of increased patrols, Mr. Speaker, I think that depends very much on the strength of the police officers in that particular area. And I can tell this House that now that you're going to do the budgeting, as a committee, we are requesting that we get more funding to be able to recruit more police officers, and that will help us to increase the strength of officers in particular areas. On the issue of motor vehicles, as you are aware that initially the government had entered in some contract of hiring the vehicles, and because of some issues, the government now plans to buy motor vehicles. And I can assure you, I can assure the member that this problem of motor vehicles is across the country, and as promised through the Minister for Interior, you'll be able to get the vehicles that are promised for your particular area. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Next order. Hold on. Yes, Bowen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sometime last year, around November, I drafted a question on the issue of Parliamentary Service Commission, especially the oversight. And Mr. Speaker, this is something I want to ask your indulgence and also advice, at the same time also give us a direction, because it is also a constitutional question. Mr. Speaker, the Article 95, Sub-Article 5B of the Constitution provides the National Assembly function of oversight, Mr. Speaker.
Bowen, you're saying you already asked that, requested for that statement?
No, I'm saying, Mr. Speaker, I did draft that question before the table office, and I signed the statement, and up to now I have not seen that statement. And that's why I'm saying I'm seeking your direction, because it is also a constitutional question.
Drop a copy of your statement to the clerk. It will be dealt with and processed accordingly.
It's okay, Honorable Speaker, because it was to do with the the oversight of Parliamentary Service Commission, because we have concerns as members. And when we talked with our colleague, the chair of members' welfare, Mr. Speaker.
In any case, Honorable Bowen, if you take your seat, if you are here when we were starting this session, I did direct the House that questions and statements asked and raised or requested for in the last session lapsed with the session, if you may recall. And I directed and advised that those members whose questions and statements had collapsed that way had an opportunity to go and resurrect them. So all you need to do is, you know, the Resurrection Center. You can go and resurrect the request. Then it will be processed in the normal manner. Is that okay? Thank you, Honorable Bowen. Next.
Order number 9, the Pyrethrum Repeal Bill, National Assembly Bill number 40 of 2024, first reading. A bill for an act of Parliament to repeal the Pyrethrum Act and for connected purposes. Order number 10, the Virtual Asset Service Providers Bill, National Assembly Bill number 15 of 2025, first reading. A bill for an act of Parliament to provide for the legal framework to license and regulate the activities of virtual asset service providers and for connected purposes. Order number 11, motion, consideration of nominees to 37 National Government Constituency Development Fund committees.
You called order number?
11.
Musa Sirma.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that pursuant to the provision of Section 43(4) of the National Government Constituency Development Fund, Act 2015, and paragraph 5, 2, and 10 of the National Government Constituency Development Fund, Regulations 2016, this House approves the list of nominees for appointment to the following 37 constituency committees of the National Government Constituency Development Fund. Mr. Speaker, I beg to, the names are appended in the order paper from number 1 to 37, starting from Bomet Central Constituency to Yatta Constituency as the 37th. Mr. Speaker, the names of the various committees within in the constituencies so far received, we have now a balance of 74 which are with the board, which they will be able to finish within the next few days. But 16 constituencies have not submitted at all. I want to urge those constituencies to expedite the process and deliver those proposals they want to be approved by the House so that we can be able to bring them and gazette them together. Mr. Speaker, we are also, as members of Parliament from the various constituencies, are still requesting that the funding so far, we are way back from the list which was brought here last week from Treasury. We are late by 3 months, which translates to 21 billion. Mr. Speaker, we want the Minister for Finance to take keen interest in the development of the various schools and the developments which have been earmarked for development. We are almost closing the financial year, and here we do not have money. So, Mr. Speaker, as I close to say that we approve the names. I want to ask Honorable Wamboka to second this motion. Mr. Speaker, thank you.
Honorable Sirma, you end by saying, I beg to move.
Yes,
thank you. And request whichever member you want to second.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that these names be approved, and I ask Honorable Wamboka to second.
Thank you. Better.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to second the move by Honorable Musa Sirima that indeed CDF needs
For the
to...
record, Honorable Wamboka.
Clauses 3, 4, and 5.
I propose the question that clauses 3, 4, and 5 be part of the bill. I put the question that clauses 3, 4, and 5 be part of the bill. Division at the end.
Clause 6.